subcommittee, that's the Department of Government Efficiency run by Musk and Ramaswamy. Comer is going to create a subcommittee, and it's going to be chaired by Marjorie Taylor Greene. I like that. So Marjorie Taylor Greene will be working with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy in this subcommittee. Good choice. And we should probably also get Thomas Massey involved in that too. I'm sure he'd like to cut some of that government spending down. Maybe Rand Paul as well. Biden's $100 billion disaster aid request includes money to rebuild the collapsed Baltimore Bridge. Now, they're having trouble actually getting this bill because we've given so much money to Ukraine and to Israel and to illegal immigrants that we don't even have money, supposedly, for our own disaster aid. The new bridge is going to cost nearly $2 billion, and they're wondering if they can even get the funding. Maybe Ukraine or Israel can give us some of that money for infrastructure that we gave to them. You think, well, it's always a one-way street with these foreign countries. You ever notice that? It's always a one-way street. DOJ calls for the breakup of Google and the sale of Google Chrome. So this has been kind of a slow burn, and Google is going to try to stall this as long as possible. The Justice Department is calling for Google to divest its Chrome browser following a ruling in August that the company holds a monopoly in the search market. Chrome, which Google launched in 2008, provides the search giant with data it then uses for targeting ads. The DOJ said in a filing on Wednesday that forcing the company to get rid of Chrome would create a more equal playing field for search competitors. Or they could also just open source their algorithms for search or their technologies for search so anybody has access to it to create an equal playing field. And then you could have a search engine that doesn't manipulate the results. So that'd be nice, but they're going to delay this as long as possible. Could take years. We got some breaking news. We've got some breaking news. Now, this is actually ironic. I'll tell you why. But Trump announces Pam Bondi as new Attorney General pick hours after Matt Gaetz withdraws. I like Pam. I met her some years ago. Very nice, very sweet, and pretty based as well. She thinks and talks like us as well. So, okay, I'm all right with that. I'd still like somebody a little more hardcore, let's say. But I don't think she'll definitely support Trump and be good for his agenda. I'm looking for more of like, somebody that's going to go in there with a jackhammer and a shovel. But nonetheless, Trump says he'll nominate Pam Bondi for next Attorney General. Let's see how the Republicans in the swamp have to deal with that. But why is this funny to me? Because, folks, I'm telling you right now, there is nobody knows what the hell's going on. All my sources on the Hill, congressional sources and everything, they were like, oh, we have no idea. The names that were getting floated around were all, Pam was not even mentioned once. I had like 5 different people saying, it's going to be this guy, it's going to be that guy. And nobody said Pam Bondi, and so this one gets pulled out of left field. Former Florida Attorney General, here's the announcement from President Trump. I am proud to announce former Attorney General of the great state of Florida, Pam Bondi, as our next Attorney General of the United States. Pam was a prosecutor for nearly 20 years, where she was very tough on violent criminals and made the streets safe for Florida families. Then, as Florida's first female Attorney General, she worked to stop the trafficking of deadly drugs and reduce the tragedy of fentanyl overdose deaths, which have destroyed many families across our country. She did an incredible job that I asked her to serve on our Opioid and Drug Abuse Commission during my first term. We saved many lives. For too long, the partisan Department of Justice has been weaponized against me and other Republicans. Not anymore. Pam will refocus the DOJ to its intended purpose of fighting crime, making America safe again. I've known Pam for many years. She is smart and tough and is an American first fighter who will terrific job as Attorney General. This one is out of left field. All the names that people on the Hill were telling me it was going to be were all wrong. Nobody said Pam Bondi. Trump is truly kind of unpredictable right now. So there you go. I like Pam. I don't see it as a negative, but I'm looking for somebody who's going to go in there with a little more of a attitude era approach, if you will. And Pam is a little more straight edge. We'll see if there's anything that tries to prevent her from getting confirmed in the coming days. Did you hear this out of New York City, by the way? Trump's lawyers demand Bragg case be immediately dismissed, say election supersedes political motivations. Well, now, these New York cases, they're saying they're going to push back. They're going to push back the conclusions till 2029. The DAs and the state of New York and their attorneys are saying, well, we'll just wait and have hearings and convictions and sentencing and everything in 2029. So what the hell is that? What, Trump's going to finish off, is going to be like 83 years old and you're going to throw him in prison? I imagine he can just pardon himself anyway.
No,
well, I guess they're trying to avoid that by saying that he's late and then he can't pardon himself after he's president. It's just so. Corruption is insane. Well, this story loses its relevance, but remember, Morning Joe, Mika and Joe were meeting with Trump. Well, the rumor has it, petrified, Morning Joe's real reason for meeting Trump revealed amid wild conspiracy theory into dead intern and fears over Gates-led retribution. Trump doubles down on claiming Joe Scarborough was involved in Snapper's murder. Well, I don't know what Trump has ever commented about that. Joe was not there. Joe was never there when the intern Lori Klausutis was dead in Scarborough's Florida office when he was a member of Congress. She was not there, had nothing to do with it. But these are the conspiracy rumors going around here. All right. Well, it won't be Gates anyway. So, Pam Bondi, maybe she wants to talk about it. I doubt it. All right. This was a wild story. New York, well, it might have been New York. I forget where it was. Probably all across the country. Government report says thousands of postal workers are stealing the mail. Now, people are concerned this might implicate mail-in ballots, but it could implicate anything. This is massive corruption at the Postal Service, stealing the mail. Here's the report in clip 1.
So a new government report says thousands of postal workers are stealing the mail. The Inspector General says investigators closed 47% more cases involving employees last fiscal year compared to 2019, with nearly 6,000 cases closed over that span of time. But this number is likely an undercount because the OIG says there aren't enough mail-in supervisors, and the ones that are on the job aren't trained to spot mail theft. The Postal Police Union president says those vulnerabilities in the Postal Service are public knowledge. Criminals are actively exploiting them.
They're literally getting the job so they can steal mail and quit. I mean, it's amazing.
Making matters worse, the OIG says the Postal Service doesn't even know how many of its more than 18,000 surveillance cameras even work. Why do you think they're not being more public about this problem?
I think they're trying to protect their brains.
Visit NBC7.com to learn which types of
people
workers are
stealing the
being
mail.
blamed the most.
It probably is more for money than it is election rigging, but who knows? They could be doing that as well. Wouldn't surprise anybody. So, look, there needs to be a list of pardons for Trump pretty quickly when he gets in there. The January 6th political prisoners, Julian Assange, I would even say Edward Snowden. Those ones might be long shots. He's mentioned Assange before. Ross Ulbricht, and there are some others. What about Roger Ver? Free Roger Ver campaign pushes back against U.S. crackdown. Bitcoin Jesus fights IRS tax evasion case from Spanish some irony for you. Not wanting men in women's bathrooms is endangering women. That's the new Democrat logic. Here's AOC on a diatribe last night outside of the Capitol in clip 20.
It's disgusting, and everybody, no matter how you feel on this issue, should reject it completely. What are they doing? They're doing this so that Nancy Mace can make a buck and send a text and fundraise off an email. They're not doing it to protect people. They're endangering women. They're endangering girls of all kinds, and everybody should.
Of all kinds. There's only one kind of girl.
Oh my gosh, these people are. They don't live in reality.
Girls of all kinds, huh?
Again, how does it endanger women? It's not women. How does it endanger children by not having a man in the bathroom with them? Asking now is, did she abort? People want to know. There were rumors. She had some of that pregnancy glow, some of that pregnancy thick. The joy seems to be gone. The plump seems to be gone.
Piggy!
Let's find out. Maybe she was in the bathroom with a man.
Piggy.
You might have an idea. Because it's disgusting that you don't want a man in the bathroom with your daughter. It's disgusting. Disgusting. You don't want liberals coming to your children's library to talk about gay sex. Yeah, that really happened. Now, this happened in Nampa, Idaho. It's right outside of Boise. And Brian Lenny found this out. They had an approved flyer up for children to meet with adults to talk about gay sex at the City of Nampa Library. He emailed them about it, and they basically said, well, we don't have anything to do. It's one of those like public posting boards. Post anything on it. And the City of Nampa said, well, we have nothing to do with that, and we don't support it, but at the same time, it is allowed to be there. What? So you can go.
How about Mentor, Ohio? The Pride Club by a middle school teacher. You don't have to tell your parents. You don't need permission to do this. Just show up.
For kids to show up where grown men are going to tell them all about. Forget about what orientation it is sexually. I mean, but see, if it was to show up and talk about heterosexual activity, that would be bad. But since it's gay, it's good. And if you say anything bad about it, you are a homophobe. See, that's the logic here. All right, one more hilarity as we close out the show. Whoopi Goldberg, she's like us, guys. She's struggling financially. Clip 3.
I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too. Yeah. I work for a living.
Oh, Jesus, you work for a living?
I would not be here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoopi Goldberg is worth millions of dollars. And she sits on the set of The View because she loves herself and she's a narcissist. And she loves all the attention. And hey, it's probably a good job, pays her well, so I don't blame her for taking it, but please, Whoopi, I'm like you, I struggle to pay my bills and I can't afford groceries. That's a great challenge. Can a liberal be honest about anything?
How about at least doing the speed limit?
You know what I'm saying? A lot of you bitches got that dry ass foot because your pH balance is off. And you wanna know why? It's not because you born with it. It's because y'all keep these dirty ass. And y'all bitches are shy to tell these that they dick is hot. You gotta tell babe, yo, your dick more like mustard, man. I'm gonna throw my pH balance off.
I want to tell Cardi B something. You need Hydroforce with all of the highest quality electrolytes and vitamins and minerals that will keep your big fat juicy and clean. And a lot of those women, out there with that issue that she's talking about, need Hydroforce because it's a really good quality, but everybody else needs it as well. So you can go to thealexjonesstore.com and get your Hydroforce, get your Ultimate CMOS. It's got highest quality organic iodine, all these other trace vitamins, minerals. It's the superfood, super hot thing. We pride to label it one of the top companies in the nation. So when you get Ultimate CMOS, it's an amazing superfood, and it's good for all of your glands and all of your body and your immune system and everything. Your brain cells, your eyes, your intestines, just your skin, and other parts.
Jesus. All right, flatbed. All over the road.
And you need gut cleanse, and you need probiotics while you're eating all that stuff you're talking about.
Fucking idiot, man.
Ribs and the macaroni and everything else. I hear I'm getting hungry. Well, that's what you got your probiotics for. Help make sure little good bacteria help process. You're like, bacteria in my gut. You're pretty smart. Probably know about that. You're talking about girls about stuff. So it's all available. Everything from Cardi B, everything from Kamala Harris and Nancy Pelosi and Liz Cheney. All you girls that want to be healthy. You don't want to take those COVID shots. You don't want to drink that fluoride. When this is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. You want to go to the altar.
Motherfucker.
Dr. Oz, who hangs out with Marina Abramovich and who has received $120,000 from the Israeli lobby, promotes implantable chips and transgenderism.
Do you remember when your parents thought you were a boy?
A little bit.
Talk to me about that a little bit.
Like, how did it make you feel when I used to take you and get your hair cut off at the barbershop on base?
It made me very angry.
You did not like your haircut. Why not?
Because I'm a girl, not a boy.
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard, who is sold to us as an anti-war personality and who has received $40,000 from the Israeli lobby, is now saying we need to go to war against Islam.
Joe Biden just recently pausing weapon shipments to Israel. How do you see that? I mean, there are folks that say he's on the side of Hamas at this point.
He is acting out of fear, which is why he has failed, like previous administrations before him, to wage this counter-ideological warfare against this Islamist ideology whose goal is to establish Islamic rule over the entire world. Even with what's happening in our college campuses, even knowing that this is Hamas, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, this is their objective. He refuses to call it out for what it is because he's afraid of being called an Islamophobe. And it's the same reason why he is not taking seriously the need to defeat Hamas.
Incoming Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who has received $460,000 from the Israeli lobby, is warning that the International Criminal Court may become a threat to the U.S.
Now, you have the International Criminal Court, the ICC, and its prosecutor pursuing warrants against Israeli officials. That is outrageous, and it is unlawful. The ICC rogue actions are a threat to our ally Israel, and left unchecked could pose a threat to America in the future. So to our allies in Israel and to the Jewish people around the world, my message to you is this: reinforcements are on the way.
If you were wondering why the new Trump administration is looking more like Israel first than America first, according to Howard Lutnick, Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, has been advising him on how to staff the administration.
So you're the co-chair of the Trump transition team, is that right? That's right. So in the first Trump administration, a lot of lobbyists got appointed to prominent cabinet positions. Mark Esper, defense secretary, for example, was the top lobbyist. Raytheon, lots of other examples. Is that a philosophy that you would want to see perpetuated in a second Trump administration? Would it differ? What's the status of that?
No lobbyists are part of the transition. So I don't think so at all. I think we have the greatest group of potential, people who want to serve that you've ever seen. We have the leaders of America.
So no lobbyists in the second Trump administration?
I would not expect people who are lobbyists to be a material part. You can't say none. It's 4,000 people joining, so that's
senior level cabinet positions, let's say.
I don't think so.
Is Jared Kushner coming back?
I don't comment on people. I told you that's not it, but Jared Kushner is a big help to me. The people.
He's actively helping you on this project?
He's absolutely actively helping me because everybody's helping me. J.D. Vance is helping me. Everybody's helping find the most talented people they have.
Jared Kushner is a longtime family friend of Benjamin Netanyahu. The Kushner family, like the Trump family, are in the real estate business, and the Kushners have been doing business in Israel for years. Earlier this year, Jared spoke of Gaza's valuable waterfront property.
There are real fears on the part of Arabs, and I'm sure you talk to a lot of them, who think once Gazans leave Gaza, Netanyahu's never going to let them back in.
Maybe, but I'm not sure there's much left of Gaza at this point. So, if you think about even the construct, like, Gaza was not really a historical precedent, right? It was the result of a war. Borders are changed historically over time. And so my sense is I would say, how do we deal with the terror threat that is there so that it cannot be a threat to Israel or to Egypt, right? I think that both sides are spending a fortune on military. I think neither side really wants to have, a terrorist organization enclaved right between them. And Gaza's more than
Irish sea moss has been all the rage the last 5 years.
Wholesale capture of our federal government. Block out anybody that is not doesn't prioritize them first and foremost. And the Ukraine war leading us towards World War III. And the way these two stories are in fact one story. They are in fact the same thing. And the reason that we're going to war in Ukraine against Russia is because of the control that the warmongers have over our government. So it's really all one big conspiracy if you want to know the truth. Lots of videos. We'll be joined by Brandon Weichert and David Pine today, both experts in geopolitics. David Pine, an expert in nuclear weapons in particular. So we'll be very interested to talk to him about what potentially comes next. I've been doing my own war gaming a little bit.
Weird.
I have some conclusions I've come to about Russia. We'll get to it in just a second. But the fact is, in Europe, there's not a heck of a lot of nuclear weapons. And I have the feeling that if they wanted, Russia could probably obliterate NATO's nuclear supply in an afternoon, which would be an interesting development. But we'll get into some of that and how it actually seems to be moving us towards fulfillment of a prophecy that we talk about on this show quite a bit. Prophecy that Russia will one day nuke Turkey, and that will be the beginning and the end of World War III. And where do you think America's nuclear weapons are stored in Europe? in Turkey. It's all very interesting. Stay tuned for that.
I'll be right back.
We'll start today as we do every day with our Daily Dispatch. All right, here it is, folks, your Daily Dispatch for Friday, the 22nd of November, 2024. Matt Gaetz has withdrawn from AG consideration after Trump told him he didn't have the votes. At least that's the rumor from Mediaite. Matt Gaetz reportedly withdrew from AG consideration after Trump told him he didn't have the votes. Gaetz issued a statement on Thursday saying he would be withdrawing because it's, quote, clear my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction from the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. Shortly after, CNN reported that before he withdrew, it contacted Gaetz to inquire about an allegation he had a threesome involving a 17-year-old girl. In a few hours after that report, CNN said Trump phoned Gaetz on Thursday morning and told him his nomination is dead on arrival. Now, we have a lot more information about this that we'll get to in just a little bit, including who voted against him. It's all of the typical rhino Republicans who are still, despite the very loud signal sent to them by the American populace, still clinging desperately and aggressively using the institutional power that they have glommed onto. Again, we'll talk about his replacement, Matt Gaetz' replacement, Pam Bondi, and some of the rumors swirling about what brought about this sudden, unexpected, and frankly disappointing change. Meanwhile, the International Criminal Court has not just convicted Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant of genocide and crimes against humanity, they have now issued arrest warrants. Netanyahu, International Criminal Court issues arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister. There are now something like 124 countries in the world that will arrest Benjamin Netanyahu if he sets foot on their soil, including, I believe, Canada. So very interesting.
Midwest.
We'll get back to that and talk.
Got to pick up some hockey tickets for tomorrow night.
America, as Tom Cotton has come out saying we should now invade The Hague. We should now go to war in Europe, a ground invasion to Europe, to stop Benjamin Netanyahu from being arrested for committing genocide. Completely insane. There's another story that's been going on all week. We've touched on it a little bit, but we're going to spend some time on it today. It's the trial of Daniel Penny. Daniel Penny's defense called a forensic pathologist to testify the chokehold did not cause the death. And there's actually a lot of evidence that the chokehold did not cause the death. He's also, the interrogation video of Daniel Penny has been released, and we'll go over that a little bit. But it is a...
Really? In your chat, or just the way he was driving?
Actually happening in this country. As the system brutalizes,
I got home, passed out last night. I was exhausted.
Wrong, was acting as a hero, stepped in, put his own life on the line to protect others, and then gave a statement to the police, thinking that.
About what time in your chat or in your stream is it? I'll check it out.
This crazy criminal that he
on the CB?
Literally thinking he was going to be like celebrated for it because he actually stepped in and did the job of the police because the police weren't there.
So he was on the road with you.
The police are interrogating him, knowing that they're actually going to charge him with manslaughter and put him on trial for his life. And then the people that actually helped him to subdue Daniel Penny, or helped him to subdue Jordan Neely, the guy, they got plea deals and then testified against Daniel Penny. Despite the fact they were both involved. Daniel Penny's facing manslaughter, the other people are walking free. At the same time, you have
sweet.
immigrants who have been
Yeah, send it to me on Telegram.
times in the last 2 months.
I figured out my mic issue with that laptop, so I'll go ahead and stream today. I worked on it a little bit last night when I got home watching foosball.
Meanwhile, the United States is pushing the world into
That was a fucking nutty game last night, man. Fucking lake effect snow up in Cleveland.
Following the launch of hypersonic missiles into Ukraine. So there's been a few exchanges of these advanced missiles, and things are heating up, and Putin has come out with a statement saying that it's the manufacturers and suppliers of these missiles which are legitimate threats for nuclear attack, meaning the UK and the US. We'll show you that statement in just a minute at the end of this Daily Dispatch. Finally, in response to this, the Defense Department in America has adjusted their nuclear deterrence strategy as nuclear peer adversaries escalate. So yes, escalation on all sides. No one even remotely trying for peace. We're just closer now than we ever have been to nuclear exchange. Closer now, maybe even than the Bay of Pigs crisis, because at least at that point, it seemed as though both countries had governments that were genuinely concerned about the possibility of nuclear exchange. At this point, it's not even the top story. It's not even the third top story. It's like the people in charge don't even care that Russia is pointing a gun at closer than ever before. I think the clock closer.
I don't know what's going on in the government building. There's a news van out front.
Dispatch for this morning. And like I said, I think we'll start with the statement from Vladimir Putin. And it is shocking that this is not the top story everywhere.
Yeah, I got it.
It's like unbelievable this is not the top. The president of Russia, we are now, for all intents and purposes, in active war against. I mean, you've got Ukrainian generals.
Toledo Walleye versus the Orlando Solar Bears.
We are in a state of war with the United
Tomorrow
States.
night.
And Vladimir Putin is putting out this statement where he directly threatens the UK and the US with nuclear bombs. Yeah, and the UK is responding like as if they have a chance. So let's go to this video from Vladimir Putin. And I want to remind you, Russia has the largest nuclear stockpile in the world and has proven as of yesterday that they are capable of delivering hypersonic warheads into at least Ukraine and getting around any air defense.
Did you see the video of those things re-entering the atmosphere? I mean, he had conventional warheads on them. It's not the IRBMs, whatever they are.
Like I said yesterday, it's
like it's fucking lightning.
It's playing poker against
They come in so fast.
They have a full house. They're going to win the hand, but we keep trying to
move your fucking ass out of the road.
An insane strategy. Tends to a suicidal intent. So let's go now to this clip of this is Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, issuing a very direct and clear warning to us. Are we going to listen? Let's watch.
Attackers missiles manufactured in the US were used, and on the 21st, a combined attack using Storm Shadow manufactured in the UK and missiles manufactured in the US were used to attack missile targets in the Bryansk and Kursk regions of the Russian Federation. Starting from that point, as we have at times, the regional conflict in Ukraine, provoked by the West, acquired a global character. Our anti-missile systems countered those attacks. As a result, the targets and objectives set by the enemy were not achieved. The fire and the ammunition storage in the Bryansk region, as a result of fragments of attackers' missiles falling, has been contained. No victims. In the Kursk region, one of the command and control centers of our Sever group was attacked. As a result of the attack and the countermeasures, there have been people wounded and killed, and those who were involved in servicing these facilities, those who were members of the command have not been hit by the attack and are now continuing their operation to remove the enemy from the Kursk region. I repeat, the use of such weapons cannot change the course of a special military operation.
Red arrow,
Our
nice.
mission is successfully advancing along the entire line of contact, and all the objectives that we set before ourselves will be met. As a response to the use of US and UK manufactured weapons, the Russian forces have carried out a combined strike on one of the military-industrial facilities in Ukraine. And this included the test of a novel intermediate-range Russian missile system. A ballistic missile with a non-nuclear hypersonic payload was used. The test was carried out successfully. The objectives of the launch have been met. One of the largest and
those things can reach fucking the UK in 15 minutes.
That is known since the Soviet times.
Mach 10 they can go.
Dnieper region, which is known and to be involved in enemy production, was hit. And further, plans are being made in Europe and the Asia Pacific to deploy weapons and missiles. And we believe it is a mistake on the part of the United States to destroy the system that was established by the Missile Treaty in 2019.
What the fuck's this guy doing?
We see that the United States and their allies are now considering and has successfully tested.
They're not even working in this lane. Why the fuck are they stopping traffic?
Missile systems in different parts of the world, and their exercises routinely include the use of such weapons. Russia has unilaterally refused to deploy intermediate and small range missiles until we see similar weapons deployed by the United States in a region of the world. The use of the novel system, which was essentially an operational test.
Yeah, you're going to probably start lining it up, aren't you?
With the decisions made by the United States and their allies. And the further actions will be considered and decided based on what we've seen from them.
Yeah, I wish I was closer to you. I'd fucking help you with that shit.
Threats to the security of the Russian Federation. We believe that we have the right to use our weapons against military facilities of countries who allow their weapons to be used against ours. And in case of an escalation, we will act as decisively in a mirror fashion. The ruling elites of the countries are nurturing plans to use their military contingents against Russia should be warned. When choosing
all right, I'm gonna try and get the desktop stream set up as fast as possible.
Such as the use of systems that was tested recently in Ukraine will certainly include warnings to civilians and to clear the zones.
Have a great day. I'll be seeing you in a bit. Peace.